Hi, welcome back to Storytime with Susan. We are continuing with our book, The Berenstain Bear Scouts and the Coughing Catfish. We are on chapter 10, so let's get started. Chapter 10, Up and Away. Just when it looked like the scouts had managed to settle Gramps down, there was another big upset. He was in his co-pilot seat getting steering instructions. It's very simple, said Actual Factual. To steer left, you move the mouse left. To steer right, you move the mouse right. Gramps was paying close attention. So were the scouts. The scouts had worked on computers, especially Fred, who was a whiz. The mouse was just a small gadget with a roller inside that you moved around on a rubber mat called a mouse pad. You see, said the professor, when you move the mouse, the cursor moves. The cursor is that little red arrow on the screen. It looks simple enough, said Gramps, but wait a minute. Where's the windshield? He looked all around the cabin. Wait a minute, he said. This thing doesn't have any windows. Not any. No windows is crazy. What do? Fly blind? Sorry, Professor. I'm out of here. Gramps unlocked his safety belt. But before he could even stand, Actual Factual touched a few keys on his keyboard. And a truly amazing thing happened. The whole solid windowless wall that ringed the cabin turned into a crystal clear wraparound window. Light flooded in. The cabin was ablaze with morning sunlight. Gramps and the scouts had to shield their eyes. Too bright for you, said the professor. He touched a few more keys, and the light dimmed a little. Well, Gramps, is that enough windshield for you? I guess so, said Gramps. We'll not only be able to see where we're going, we'll be able to see where we've been and every other which way. How did you do that? Said Brother. You know those sunglasses that get darker in bright sunlight? Said the professor. Well, I just improved on the idea a little. Okay, enough show and tell. It's time to take off. Take your seats and buckle up. Gramps settled into the co-pilot seat, and the scouts sat in the passenger seats behind the twin pilot seats. Actual Factual touched some more keys. There was a hissing sound. What's that? Said Gramps. Sounds like some kind of a leak. No, it's just the helium generator filling up the gas bag, said the professor. Helium generator. That means you make your own helium, said Fred, who was a lighter-than-air buff. How do you do that? Reach around behind you, Fred, said the professor, and get the salt out of the galley. The galley was part of a bank of drawers and closets right behind the passenger seats. A very puzzled Fred reached back and found a shaker marked S. Shake it into your hand, said the professor. Okay, what's in your hand? Salt, of course, said Fred. Yes, but what is it really? What's its scientific name? Sodium chloride, said Fred. Correct, said the professor. It's what you get when you combine sodium and chlorine, two very different substances. Sodium is a strange white metal that burns up in water. Chlorine is a nasty smelling green gas. There's enough chlorine packed into that bit of salt you're holding to fill this cabin and kill us all. The scouts looked at the pinch of salt as if it might go off like a firecracker. But Put these two very different substances together, and what do you get? Amazingly, you get sodium chloride, which is very good on sliced tomatoes and French fries. The scouts were listening hard, but they couldn't for the life of them figure out what all this had to do with the hissing noise that was making them all nervous. Well, said the professor, that's how we make our own helium. You see, I've discovered how to combine enough helium to lift saucer 1 with another substance so that it fits in a space no bigger than your fist. The hissing is the sound of helium filling our gas bag. And when the bag is full, we're going up. We're going up, cried Gramps. Exactly, said the professor. The scouts held on tight. Saucer 1 was up and away. Well, wasn't that interesting? We learned how saucer 1 makes its own helium and how it flies. So, join me next time for the next chapter in my next video. As always, like and subscribe. Have a good day.